Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This store is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Get signed up for their email distribution list to find out when the store will be opening, what their hours will be, and most importantly, what they will have in inventory at abvbarrelshop.com. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebartogo.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we mail it in for Friday the 13th. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Demetri, Kathy Cool, and Jim Fosnot.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Guys.
How you doing?
Good. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun today. It's Friday the 13th. We're here. So it's a scary time for certain people. And I was hoping to have Heidi Fosnot because she's so many things scare her. I figure Friday the 13th has to. So, but sometimes she starts acting like she's cool and she won't get into the thing. So I have to find out later. Jim will tell me the real deal. But she's not on here. But McNew's on here, who's big into all this kind of stuff and the crazy.
I love superstitions,
crystals and superstitions.
Yeah, whether I believe them or not, I like them. They're interesting.
Okay. I don't know if I believe that. I'm that way with Bigfoot. Like I give me all the evidence that there's no such thing as Bigfoot. I don't care. I still would want to watch a Bigfoot show and, hunters and all. I'm into it. I just like Bigfoot. So yeah, I don't care that it's true or not. It doesn't matter to me. It's a fun topic. So yes. So McNew, you had today's small talk. What do you got for us?
Okay, so for Mother's Day, I got my mom this book called Florography. Like, my mom loves flowers. She has a beautiful yard. But this book is written, I guess the Victorians had a meaning for every flower. Okay. And you could literally send somebody a message with a bouquet, depending on what flowers you put in it, right? Okay. So everything has a meaning. So you could literally send somebody a flower bouquet that literally tells them to fuck off, given the flowers that are in it. And I love it. I think it's brilliant. Yeah. So I wanted to know, what bottle of bourbon would you send somebody to send a fuck you message?
Okay. What bottle would we send?
Tumbling dice.
Tumbling dice. Yeah.
Mine would be Fireball.
Fireball.
Not really a whiskey. It proves the point.
Mine would be Screwball.
Screwball.
Yeah. I was at a trivia night and they had a whiskey pull. And so you pay $25 and all the bottles of whiskey are in brown bags and you don't know what you get and you have to randomly pick a bag. And someone at a different table picked a Screwball.
Oh.
And I was like,
I'd be furious. I don't even want it. I don't want it.
I know. I would have hit somebody over the head with it.
Yeah. You tell me I got to take a Screwball. I don't want that.
Well, give me my money back for whatever I paid for this raffle. I don't want it.
I want a mulligan.
You're not doing a barrel pick of Screwball? I thought.
No. No barrel pick of Screwball.
If I thought I could sell it out in 2 days, I'd fucking do it.
Jim's here for the money. He doesn't care.
He'd be hawking it. Yeah,
he'd do a Fireball.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Barrel pick.
Yeah. Oh, the peanut butter notes in this are fantastic.
Tastes like chip. Yeah.
I think if you really want to make a statement to someone, I think it's that Crown Royal Peach. I think that's what you send to them. If you really don't like them. I mean, yeah. McNew's husband was on the search for that stuff for a while.
He was obsessed with it for
the Crown Royal Peach.
Good 6 months. This man was infatuated with his Crown Royal Peach.
But have you ever had Crown Royal Peach in sweet tea?
No, is it
Yeah,
good?
that's how we liked it.
Fantastic. No,
Oh,
I'm not going to
yeah.
drink it all the time.
There's
but
a
it's
use
like-
for it then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we liked it actually. So
Yeah,
Brown royal peach.
I was making fun of a friend of mine for bringing it over. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like seriously!" And then we
You had to admit it was good then. Yeah.
and I was like, "Man,
I
that's
think
not bad."
you would
I'm not
have to put a good bourbon in it as well.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. McNew, you asked the question, what would be the bottle you would send to someone if you didn't like them?
So I'm a fan of the bottom shelfers, right? There's nothing wrong with the bottom shelf, but
Yeah.
there's a lot wrong with Kesslers. So I'm gonna send that out.
You'd send out the Kesslers. Okay.
So you're not giving out larceny, is what you're saying.
Oh, that's good. That's because I
Yeah.
like you. It's because we're friends. Any larceny.
Likes larceny. Yeah. Yeah. All right, gang. Well, it's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? I'm going to start this thing off again. I'm going to go with the last show pour. Can I do it? Can I do it?
Oh,
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I
I
think
don't-
you can.
I don't think so. I've got Whistle Pig here. This is a 10-year-old. This is a barrel pick. This is done by the old ones that OJ Lima used to do. So he had a partner up in New York that he used to do. This is the DIY 3. So I've had this one for a while. So it's time for it to go. So let's see. Cork pop. Decent. I could be in the play here. Let's see what we got here. 6 ounces. We know the Glencairn is. Let's see.
Oh,
Oh my
Steve, you're
God.
doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. There's room to go. Perfect.
Yeah, I could have had another 1/8 of an ounce maybe, but yeah, I made it. So there you go.
Perfect.
All right, McNew, you're next. What do you got?
Very much a bottle kill of Cooper's Craft. Nothing left in that.
Cooper's crotch?
Craft.
Cooper's Crotch, yes.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
talked
it's the
over.
follow-up to Cooper's Craft. They now have Cooper's
I
Crotch.
talked over her bottle pop.
It's a little musty.
It's the teabag barrel.
It has similar notes of the screwball.
Oh God, Jim, what do you have? I think I've got the lead.
A bottle kill as well of Heaven Hill 7-year. I don't know
Okay.
how big this will be, but we'll see what goes on.
Okay.
Not much there.
Not enough. I've got the lead. Kathy, you're between me and victory. Hopefully, Mike Muffle gets involved here and helps me out. What do you got?
I'm gonna kill my
Finish it off.
wilderness trail.
Wilderness Trail. Okay. No, nothing going on there. I win. So we all did bottle kills there. That wasn't even coordinated. That wasn't
Bottle
even
kill
coordinated.
night.
Bottle kill night. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
gang. Yeah. Friday the 13th was
That's a big pour.
Mhm.
It's a 20 mil pour.
Mhm.
You're having to sip off the top there, Steve. You're
Yeah. I've got quite a bit there, but I'll get through this. So, what we'll do next, though, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking on Friday the 13th. What we'll be talking about, I have no idea. We'll figure it out after the break. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot in the greater St. Louis area. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only focuses on single barrels. We aren't open just yet, but our plan is to have the most diverse single barrel offerings from our many friends in the world of bourbon. By signing up for a weekly email, you will know our entire inventory we have on hand. In addition to single barrels, we'll have a tasting bar and a gift shop featuring logo merchandise for both the shop and the ABV network, as well as a full curriculum of bourbon education classes. Additionally, we'll use the gift shop to feature products from our partners in the world of bourbon, companies like Art Eatable Chocolates and Old Man Bay Signs. Head over to ABV Barrel Shop to sign up for our email and text distribution list so you can stay in the know. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent visits to Kentucky. Today, he's leading the way for young distillers making their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery combines family history, a look at what makes their products unique, and of course a tasting through their whiskeys, moonshines, and creams. Check them out at neelyfamilydistillery.com and visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Jim Fosnut. I'm your bourbon buddy, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we are mailing it in for Friday the 13th.
Yes, we are. So McNew, Friday the 13th. What do you think about it? Does that day bother you? Do you not do certain things like you won't? Because you're not that good of a driver anyway. You throw Friday the 13th and you probably shouldn't drive at all, I would guess.
No, so actually Friday the 13th have never bothered me.
Okay.
For my family, it's actually January 12th, and it does not matter what day of the week that day falls on. January 12th is very bad for McNews. My dad's mom died that day. My dad's major accident was that day. I have a cousin that was hurt that day, and my uncle got in another work accident that day. Various years, not all the same year. But January 12th, I am like buckled down at home. I am never leaving my house on a January 12th.
January the 12th, okay.
Yeah. But Friday the 13th, no, not a big deal, really. I like it because I like the idea of it. Like, I think it's a fun, like, it's a folklore. Like, I like the stories and stuff around it, but it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah. Demetri, any of this stuff get to you? I wouldn't think so. You got all your shit you got to do. You got to take care of the cows and distillery and family, and that's not going to go away. So you can't really change your schedule or anything. So, but does Friday the 13th have an impact on you?
I'm not really that superstitious
Mm-hmm.
on a day. Like, I completely believe in supernatural stuff. But I just, it's like, I don't think it's a specific day. I'm just like,
right. You were a college athlete. Were you superstitious around your athletic career?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You almost have to be with that kind of stuff, right? It's like, don't step on the line here. Yeah.
The way I distill, I don't distill certain things on certain days. It's like, we're very, I don't know. We've got, I call them routines, but it's kind of a little bit of superstition. Like, we do certain things at certain times of the year. So,
yeah.
Like what?
So like we don't make whiskey year round. We only make whiskey in the fall. And it's specific weeks that we do whiskeys and certain types of whiskeys during certain weeks. We base it off of harvest. But then we do like certain things with like the water. So we like leave the water outside overnight, let it cool down, and then we bring it in and pump it into the stills and things like that, where it's like, it's just, we one time had some really good batches. And so you kind of get this like, well, if I mess it up, if we change that process.
So do you wear the same clothes?
Doing it. This is what made it work. Yeah.
Oh.
What was that?
Like the same outfits, the same clothes, the same underwear.
When I played sports, yes.
Well, you have to, right?
For distilling, no. We've got like, I've got like lucky hats, but that's just mainly because I don't have any hair, and there are days that are colder than others. So I'm like, on a hat.
Yeah. Jim, how about you? Friday the 13th mean anything to you?
Man, I have zero superstitions. There's nothing like I'm superstitious about. So it's irrelevant to me in every way. And it's amazing to me that it's relevant to other people. Like, I mean, the movie's okay. Other than that, like, I have no thought about Friday the 13th. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
Did you know Kevin Bacon was in the original Friday the 13th?
He was, yeah.
Yes, he was. He was very young in that movie.
Got stabbed from underneath the bed. Yeah,
he was going at it.
Yeah. There is a level of violence in those movies that I don't think even the stuff today doesn't match the violence that we saw in those movies in the 80s,
it was
70s,
violent.
and 80s.
It was violent, but it wasn't gory, right? Like, so you would see somebody get stabbed, you'd see some blood shoot out, whatever, that's fine. But now it's either supernatural weird shit or very gory, like the Hostels and the Saws. I hate those movies because it's just
the
like
Saw movies.
They're just gross to be gross, and I'm like, this isn't scary. It's just gross. I don't like that. But I like that old stabbing violence. Like, we don't get that anymore.
No stabby violence.
No, people just use guns.
Growing up, my father hates scary movies. My mom loved them. And so my dad was terrified. He would watch them with his eyes closed, like hands over his eyes. And so I was 7 years old when Halloween came out. And my dad refused to go with my mom. And so she asked me if I'd go. And so I literally went and watched Halloween at 7 years old. I mean, I remember it was great. Like, I didn't have nightmares, whatever. I have no problem with scary movies. So that was like my mom and I's thing, was going to scary movies because my dad couldn't do it. his claim to fame is he took him 4 times to see all of Jaws because he had his eyes covered the whole time, like when things would happen. Like I didn't see the whole movie till the 4th time. I saw bits and pieces because my eyes were covered.
Yeah. So I think it's funny you say that, Jim, because parents now are so different than the parents we had. Like I was watching slasher movies at 9 years old. My parents thought this was fine content that were going to be great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, now, like my husband's kid is 9 and he's like, he's too young for this. I'm like, we watched it. Like, I don't see a problem, but apparently it's a problem with today's parents.
Yeah. Yeah, that is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with a TV back in the 80s, and I still don't have a TV now. So it's like, I don't watch slasher movies. I don't watch gory stuff. I'm like, I like comedy.
Did you go see?
You just go goats and sheep out in your
he does
farm.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
He lives Do you ever, Demetri, talk us through like your dating life? When you started, going out with your wife, would you go to the movies and stuff like that? Kind of a traditional type of dates, or because you're
Just
Demetri?
take her back to the barn and throw her on a bale of hay.
Yeah, you're doing Demetri Kane type of stuff.
So I'm kind of an old school romantic. So I'm a huge art buff, and I love theater.
I like that stuff too. Actually,
I enjoy going to like musicals and stuff like that, and like
I
seeing
don't know about that, but I like.
I
the
enjoy
symphony.
that.
I like the symphony.
Symphony's fantastic. So
love the
I
symphony,
really enjoy, like, I like going to concerts. So I go to every type of music except for like screamo. Just never been into that stuff.
Yeah, that's bad.
But I like just about everything else. And so we did a lot of that, but then also it was a lot of activity type stuff because I had work to do. And so for my wife,
you just make her. Let's muck the stall today. Yeah.
Like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, hey, I got it. Let's go have a picnic. And then we'd go out in the middle of a field and we'd be putting in fences. She was like, you needed to put up a fence today. I'm like, well, yeah, since we're here.
Okay.
Hey, baby, you try to drive a combine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so
Love to drive a combine.
it's awesome. So we've got, so actually I taught her how to drive or manual. I've got a 1962 Ford F500.
Cool.
It has a 2-speed rear axle. So it's a granny gear 1, and then it's 3 highway gears, and then a 2-speed rear axle. It's like that thing's bulletproof. It's a straight inline 6. And it's like funny, the different things that you teach people how to drive. And then she gets in a regular car and she's like, this is super easy to drive. Why did you teach me on that? And so that's what we did a lot for dating. So it's kind of
What era was this? So around what time frame, year wise, were you dating?
So this was 2014, 15. So
okay,
we been married a long time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay.
We didn't get married right out of college. I went out and kind of did my own thing for a while, and then met each other later.
Yeah.
So.
What about this movie? We got a lot of criticism recently of people like Jim and I because we never saw the movie Titanic. Have you ever seen the movie Titanic?
I have.
Oh wow, this is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of all people to see this, I'm disappointed.
See, this have a TV, Steve, and you and Jim have no excuses.
No, I have a TV and I've never seen Titanic. Oh.
The thing I catch the most crap out is I've never seen Shrek, and I get hell about it all the time. Like, you've never the other day I'm like, I'm not opposed to it, but it's never come up. My son, like, his mom would take him that kind of crap, and I take him to see like Lord of the Rings and
Okay, so Shrek, I feel like, is one of those timeless cartoons. Your grandbaby will love it, Jim.
So the other day she wanted to watch Shrek. Like a week ago, she wanted to watch Shrek. I'm like, okay, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not watching this. So I literally text my son. I'm like, well, I guess I'm watching Shrek for the first time as he has to watch it. And it was on for like 30 seconds. And she grabs her hand. She goes, Papa, outside. And she wanted to go outside and play. So I turned off Shrek, and we never came back to it. So I started like.
You'll see it eventually.
2 minutes into it, maybe.
It's good though. Those are good movies.
I'm not opposed to watching it, but I'm like, if it's just me or Heidi and I, that's never what I'm going to watch. Kind of like Titanic. I'm never going to watch that.
It's not the choice. Yeah.
And I'll never watch Titanic because at the age that Ezzy wants to watch that, I'll be like, oh, great, watch it. You're on your own. Like,
right. Yeah, I think you'll get pulled into the Shrek at some point. But again, it's not a bad thing. That's a funny movie.
I've watched I've watched more animated movies in the last year than I've watched in the last 15 years.
Yeah, some are good and some not.
They're more fun as an adult because Disney and Pixar like sneak in some
They hide
jokes.
stuff in there, yeah.
They do, and I'm like, I never got that before. Like
Adult content is in there, which is fun. Yeah.
And my wife's a huge Disney, like she can like quote Disney.
Right.
And I haven't seen most of the Disney films, so she'll just sit there like throwing one-liners, and I'll just be sitting there. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like, what is that?
I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, it's from this movie. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I have no idea.
So Steve, I'll throw this out to you. So next time you're over at my house, I'll take you a couple miles down the road. There's a river called the Big River, and there's a house that a friend of mine owns that used to be owned by Disney. And a lot of the movies from the 1940s or the animation from the 1940s were drawn there and based on Cedar Hill.
It's like a restaurant, right? Or was. Yeah,
it is. 100%, yes.
Yeah. My parents went there one time and told me about that.
Yeah, Little Magnolia was what it's called.
Okay.
But it was a speakeasy. It's during Prohibition. So it was great because they had two, like in their sinks, they had two sets of faucets, and one pours water, and the other was hooked up to the tanks for alcohol. And there's walls that push away to get behind the stuff. Like there's a total speakeasy, but it's 5 minutes from my house. And when I first moved back to Missouri from Florida, I literally lived across the street from that. It's a pretty cool thing to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see that for sure. Never been there, but I'd like to see it. Yeah, that sounds cool. Demetri, be honest. In this Titanic movie that you saw that Jim and I haven't, did you cry at one point? Be honest. I think you did.
No. I did not cry. I'm very disturbed to this day about the logic of the freaking door.
Well, I don't know what the door is.
The door. We talked about this in depth. Jack could have fit. She didn't want to.
They're on this giant door.
No. Jack didn't want to fit.
Yeah, I would have probably just,
Yeah.
I possibly would have, based upon the rest of the movie, I probably would have just froze to death.
So
they're out in the middle of this ocean, and they're on this giant door. Like I don't consider myself a mathematician, but I'm like, I've got eyes. We're all at a certain level logical. And
Right.
This door is massive. She's on top. He's like in the water, and this door is like a double wide, massive door.
Yeah.
He doesn't climb on it. And I'm like, you're an idiot. So
Well,
that was my takeaway.
So it's funny. So you guys did that episode on a couple weeks ago, and Tim brought that up as a small talk or something. But I was watching reruns of MythBusters, and they had that on there, and they proved that he could have fit on the door. Like they literally did a thing. I was going to send Tim the episode. Like after you brought this up, I forgot about it, but literally they had a thing on there where they tested it on MythBusters, and yes, he could have fit, and they could have both survived in the cold temperatures.
Yeah, that just means he did not want to have a life with her, and he said, "You know what, hon? You take the door."
No, I feel the opposite. I think she didn't want a life with him. Like, I think she had fun on the boat with him, but knew he couldn't support her in New York. Your ass can freeze to death. You were just a boat hookup. Stay
you're
there.
a boat hookup.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. We're not having a life together.
It wasn't a boat, wasn't it? The Model T. I think it was a Model T hookup.
Yeah, it was a Model T hookup.
Wow. Yeah, I'm proud I missed that one. I have no interest in seeing that movie Titanic. Zero.
Are there other famous movies? Like, I know some people that will say, "I've never seen a Star Wars." Does any McNew?
I have seen clips of them, like, when like they're re-aired or whatever. I have never sat through a whole Star Wars movie ever.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Star Trek?
I didn't like Star Trek either. I was just, it's not my jam. Not into it.
You realize probably most people drinking bourbon probably have watched.
I'm literally going to build for my son a Bar 2D2. It's a R2D2 out of a bourbon barrel, the bar that opens up.
So that's cool. Like, I know who the characters are because I like pop culture. Like, I get that, but I have never sat through a whole movie ever.
Interesting.
So
I saw the original Star Wars at the Westport Theater when I was, I guess I've been 7 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
saw it
remember
at the
going
Mark
to-
Twain Theater. Yeah. Back when
I
was a
remember
kid.
going to it was the second, it's like the first ones were already out, but then the second one started coming through when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like and I loved watching those. And it's actually funny. We don't have a TV in the house, but we have smartphones. So we have like the Disney Plus, and that's like my daughter and I's show. She's 6. We like watch the animated Star Wars on Saturday mornings. And it's like
on your phone?
Yeah. Every morning we get up and she's like, yeah, I want to watch Star Wars on Saturdays. That's like our thing.
You could just get a TV and call it the big phone.
Yeah, you could hear your TV.
So going back to the house, we live in an 850 square foot house. If you put a TV in an 850 square foot house and you have 4 little kids, they will knock it over. It'll get, so we're like,
4 kids is the wild card. I mean, I grew up in a 1,000 square foot house. My parents, and the house my mom still lives in, though they've expanded after I moved out. My parents, finally had the money to fix up the house, so they've greatly expanded the house. But it was a little 1,000 square foot house is what I grew up in. I mean, I'm not the space wise. I'm pretty in tune. My sister's room was 9 by 9, and I had the 9 by 10 room. I had the big room because I was older. So I got the big room. I got the 10 by 9 room, which was amazing. Just to stretch out in there. So many activities. I was able to do so many activities because I had the big room. Yeah. Which my bathroom now my master bathroom is bigger than my bedroom growing up.
God, that's weird to think about.
Yeah.
I think, because our master bedroom goes into the closet. I actually think that's bigger than my bedroom at my mom's house. That is crazy to think about.
It's crazy to think about, right?
Yeah. I never thought about it before.
Yeah.
well, and the thing with like having not having a TV on a farm, nobody notices it because you always have something to do.
You're busy. You have things to do.
When you come in at like 9 or 10 o'clock and you're getting done planting, the gardens or weeding or whatever, it's like you just want to go lay down and go to bed.
And actually probably like sitting on your porch or like back deck or something is nice probably out there.
It's pitch black, so we
get to see the stars and everything.
So how old are your kids?
6, 4, 2, and 5 months.
Okay,
So
very
you
young.
haven't put them to work yet.
Well, they still, they will.
They run the still.
They're the ones that do the dusting now. You put them in like a fuzzy onesie and slide them on the floor. Done.
Yeah.
So they don't do a lot. Like they play though. Like in the garden, we've got a pretty good sized, about 1.5 acre garden that we tend, and we grow
That's a
like
farm. It's not a garden.
Yeah. Well,
So 6-year-old is a son or a daughter?
daughter. So our oldest is a daughter, and then we've got 3 boys.
3 boys. Okay. So the 4-year-old son, how's his beard coming in? Is it good? Or?
Has it came in yet?
I had a really funny conversation about this the other day. I'm driving him to school, and he's sitting there in the back seat, and he's like, "Dad, do I look like you?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. You got some of Mom's genes, you got some of my genes." And he's like, "But you don't have hair." And I was like, "No." I'm like, and he's like, "I like my hair, and you don't have hair." And I'm like, "So do you not want to look like me?" And he's like, "I'm not." He's like, "I don't know." He's like, "But I also don't like jeans." And I'm like, "You're 4."
Right.
You don't understand jeans. I just used jeans talking about Mom and Dad, and then it was hilarious, and he couldn't stop.
Dad at age 4 had hair. I mean,
I was like, "I had hair," and he's like, "No, you don't." And I'm like, "No. When I was your age, I had hair." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm very certain I had hair at your age, bud."
I pulled it out of here and I put it here. And I fertilized it
down as you get older.
Yeah.
I don't know what my kids would do if my beard ever came off.
Yeah.
I mean, would you rather have a glorious head of hair or a glorious beard?
Beard.
I think the beard. Yeah.
I don't care about the hair.
I would rather have a glorious head of hair.
Well, yeah.
Fair.
Every female would say that, right? They don't want a glorious beard. Yeah.
But Kat, your beard is fantastic. Let's
Yeah. That makes sense. But yeah. So, yeah. Well, there you go. Friday the 13th. We made it through the show anyway. We've still got the rest of the day in front of us, but we made it through the show. So that's pretty good, right?
Yes.
We're set up to succeed. No.
Good luck to everybody listening. I'm sure you'll
Yes.
have
Be careful out there. Be careful. All right. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Kathy, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
Only on Facebook. I'm Kathy Cool.
All right, Demetri.
You can find me at Demetri_Kane on Facebook and Instagram, or you can follow us at Nobletons on Instagram and Facebook, or you can come out to Marthasville, Missouri and enjoy some of our fine spirits and take a tour.
All right. Jim, how about you?
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnot. You can find me on Instagram at FozJim, FAZZJM. You can find me open up the ABV Barrel Shop with Steve. Come and find us there, or you can find me on Eventbrite doing Jim's Big Pour on Friday nights.
All right. Excellent. McNew.
You can find me on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right. For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. The important website, though, is abvnetwork.com. That's the one to be on the lookout for. We just had quick bourbon notes come out today as we're recording this. Good stuff. Yeah, there's always what's going on in the world of bourbon. Comes out on Fridays. Go check out previous issues at abvnetwork.com and also sign up. So make sure you get those. We'll deliver them to you each Friday. Good stuff. Haven't missed a Friday. Been doing that for about a year and a half now, I think.
It's the only email I read on Fridays.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, you were featured in today's McNew.
I wasn't today. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, I promoted her show. So there you go.
Good
All
show.
right.
I listen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So, all right, McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Cheers.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's upcoming Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.